Welcome, Crypt fans, to the Cryptique Podcast. My name's Kenny, and I'm here with my good friend Godden, and together we're here to watch and review every horrific, often hilarious episode of the legendary HBO anthology series, Tales from the Crypt. And today we're joined by the one and only Joseph Hill. Joseph is a huge a supporter of this podcast, big commenter down there in the comments down below, and longtime watcher. Joseph, how are you?
Doing good. How are you guys?
Doing great. I'm really glad to have you on. Godden, how are you?
Doing good as well. I'm excited to have Joseph on. I'm always just happy when we have a guest. I like their perspective and origin stories.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. So yeah, every new guest we have, we always want to learn about their origin story. So Joseph, our longtime listener and commenter, let us know your origin story, either your history with horror in general or your history with Tales from the Crypt, or both. Whatever you want to share, Joseph, the floor is yours.
As far back as I can remember, I would say the first ones I've probably seen would be like Dream Warriors, or maybe like one of the Friday the 13th movies. And then maybe a few years after that, it would probably be like Child's Play and The Leprechaun, stuff like that. This is going to sound like blasphemy to Kenny. Never seen a Halloween movie. Never been interested in Michael Myers.
Oh boy. I just happen to be wearing my Halloween shirt today, Joseph.
Show for that.
Oh, that's funny.
So I don't know. I just never really got the hype around Michael Myers. I know a lot of people love Michael Myers. For me, he's kind of like a lesser version of Jason. I know Halloween came first, but I mean, I prefer the horror characters with more personality, like the Freddy's and Chucky's and Ghostface and Leprechaun and ones like that. But at least for a silent killer, Jason shows his personality through his creativity with his kills. So, and he just looks more intimidating than Michael Myers, I think. As far as Tales from the Crypt, it started back in like the early 90s. Got one of those free weekends at HBO. My brother and I started watching it. It was like whatever random episode was on. So yeah, him and I watched a few random episodes here and there, but I never actually watched like the whole series all the way through until maybe about 7 or 8 years ago. I was in a Barnes & Noble with my girlfriend. We saw the DVD box set. She had never heard of the show before. It was like, well, let me buy the first couple seasons. We'll watch it. And she was hooked right from the beginning. We ended up buying all the box sets and watched every episode, over the course of the next couple months. And that's when I really started getting back into it again and started getting all the merchandise and stuff like that. So I hope you guys don't mind. I got a little guest with me back here.
Yeah, who do you got back
there? It's some guy you may have heard of Tales from the Crypt before. A guy named the Crypt Keeper.
Uh-huh.
So then I got these also. It's signed by John Kassir.
Oh, that's amazing.
Wow. And I actually had this one as a kid a long time ago, but I don't know what happened to it. This is my third time buying this one because I bought another one shortly after we started watching the show again, and we ended up accidentally leaving the bag in the parking lot at the mall. And somebody stole it. So, but we got lucky and we found it again, and they had both of them, so I bought both of them. Sure, Iron Sabbath mentioned this before. We got the Tales from the Crypt here.
Oh, very cool.
And
what volumes does that have in it, or does it have all of them?
This is just like a it's like the archives of the television show.
Oh,
so it's kind of like the history of how the comic book became the show and all that stuff.
Okay,
I haven't actually had a chance to read it all, but I just got it recently. Got little bust from Monster Mania.
Oh, that's so cool. That is so cool.
Another custom action figure.
I love that your action figures aren't open, by the
wow.
way. Those are amazing.
Yeah.
You're keeping them in great shape.
And got this little book here. So we got the Christmas album in there.
Oh my gosh.
And then,
Does the Crypt Keeper
the
actually
trading
sing?
card set. He actually sings Christmas songs on it.
No way.
Oh, it's funny.
So I got the trading card set and then the Pogs.
Oh my gosh, Pogs. I remember Pogs. Godden, did you ever play with Pogs?
No, I don't know what Pogs are. What are those?
Oh my, it was back in the late 90s, mid to late 90s.
Probably too young for that.
Yeah, they had these little
Oh, yeah, I play with these.
You
I didn't know they were
slam
called
down
Pogs,
onto with a slammer, and then whatever flips over, you get a keep, or at least that's the way it was. I played it.
The song on the album.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so. I've got to YouTube some of this Crypt Keeper album. I had no idea they had this out. That is so cool.
It's all Christmas songs, but of course with the Crypt Keeper, it's all like puns and changing the songs into like horror themed stuff.
Right. And that really goes to show you how much he transcended media. Like it was all over the place. Everywhere you looked was Crypt Keeper. He had an album, he had Pogs, he had trading cards. Did you ever watch the cartoon?
Advertisements and I watched a little bit of it when I was younger. I didn't watch that much of it.
Yeah.
So I don't really remember any specific episodes.
Yeah, I watched a few to start with. It gets boring. It's a bit childish. It's hard to follow.
Well, we're not the target audience.
No, I don't think so. I would have enjoyed it when I was a kid, though. I really would have.
Yeah, at the time when it was new, because I believe we're right around the same age. So, when it was new, we would have been the target audience. But now it probably, not quite our cup of tea.
Yeah, I'd probably enjoy it more if I watched it when I was a kid because it would have that nostalgia with me. But as you're watching it as an adult for the first time through, it could be a little bit grating. Well, you got one hell of a collection. I'm really glad that you got to put some of this on camera, and we got to check out your surroundings. That's amazing. So
that's most of what I have. I might have a few other things, but
where did you get that large Crypt Keeper?
This I ordered from Spirit Halloween.
Yeah.
They didn't have it in the store, but they had it online where you could order it. I got it maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I don't know if they still have them available.
Oh, that's great.
I want to say the price was around like $300 or $400, something like that.
Okay. That's not terrible.
And yeah, it's not bad at all. And it looks pretty good. I mean, underneath all the clothes and stuff, it's just kind of like metal and wires and stuff. But once you have them all dressed up, you can't really tell.
Hey, you know what? I would get that and just use it as my Christmas tree every year. But just put the presents under the Crypt Keeper.
That's a good idea.
That's amazing. What a great collection. Well, thanks for sharing that with us, Joseph. And hey, I'm not going to hold it against you for not liking or appreciating Halloween. That's perfectly fine. I've never been one to be a gatekeeper of horror. People like what they like. And Michael Myers happens to be very near and dear to my heart. I got a big place in there for Michael Myers. And if it's not shared by everybody, that's fine. That's just more of him to love for me.
I'm just personally not a fan of it myself, but I wouldn't say I don't appreciate it. I understand the significance of it and why so many people like it. And it's really like, would there really be any other of these major slasher franchises if Halloween didn't come first?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I do like John Carpenter. That's just not one of his movies I particularly care for. I prefer more like Big Trouble in Little China or one of those type of movies.
Yeah. I am a huge fan of Michael Myers, but I also like Jason Voorhees has got to be my number 2 spot. He is definitely one of my favorites. And so I think I agree with you that Jason could be more intimidating, especially when you get to number 4. That's probably the most intimidating he is. That's one of my favorites. I also like number 3. Michael Myers, I don't think ever goes there, but to me, the reason I like him so much is because he doesn't really have to. He's just him being so subtle is enough for me. I really like that. Well, okay. Shall we move on to the episode?
Yeah, we might want to get there eventually.
Yeah. Before we do, though, I just got to say, we are not experts. We're just a group of guys who got together after having watched the episode, and we come here to share our thoughts about it, and we invite you out there to listen in on what we think about it. If you think something different, or you notice something different, or you think we're wrong about something, share it in the comments down below. We have a lot of nice people down there, including Joseph himself down there in the comments, who absolutely are very friendly and willing to read and listen to and I guess, experience other people's perspectives. So don't be shy, comment. And spoiler warning, we are going to be spoiling this episode. This episode, by the way, does have a great twist. So if you haven't seen it yet and you're just kind of using us to get by, this one might be worth a watch. It's a really great twist, a lot of fun. So what is the episode, by the way? Well, we are at season 5, episode 6. It's called 2 for the Show. This aired on October 20th, 1993, and it comes to us from the comic Crime Suspense Stories. Godden, our local horror historian, what was going on around October 20th, 1993?
Well, there's actually a good amount of movies that were lined up for the whole month of October, but before the release of this, you would probably be watching in the theaters Fearless, Judgment Night, Mr. Wonderful, and then you'd probably be anticipating movies such as $20 or even The Nightmare Before Christmas.
You mentioned Judgment Night. I remember that movie very well when it came out. I think that's the one with what's his face? Emilio Estevez. Judgment Night? I think so.
Yes, he's in it, yeah.
I remember when that movie was first coming out because it was around the same time as Judgment Day for Terminator. And I remember thinking like, oh my God, Judgment can have a night also? So I was like, super, I for some reason, I thought it was like in the same world. I thought it was the same thing. So I was super excited for Judgment Night, and I watched it and I kept thinking, where are the robots?
That's so funny.
Not about robots, by the way.
I love that.
So let us get into this episode by first reading the ancient text inked in human blood on the back of the DVD box set, which I have over there. Let me go grab that real quick. Oh, someone brought the Necronomicon. Show that again, Joseph.
That's so cool.
Oh, that's awesome. Can you open it up too?
Bound in flesh, inked in blood. So
look at that. Where did you get that?
Hopefully none of our viewers here can read Sumerian.
Oh, that is amazing.
We might have a little problem on our hands, but every time you say that line, it makes me think of this.
Oh, that's so great. I love that. That is so cool. Where did you get that?
It's made by Trick or Treat Studios. You can order it online. I got this one particularly at Monster Mania. Someone was selling it. It was about $100.
That is so cool. I imagine if I had that, I would sneak the DVDs in there so I can open it up and and just make it look like I'm reading from it. Oh, that's great. Okay, well, the back of the DVD box reads like so. Where is it? There it is. 2 for the Show. I want out, she says. He shows her out, hacked up in a trunk. Yet there's more to this tale of wife and death. It's not the best one. I'll tell you what. I wrote my own. The back of the DVD box, that's a little too long or a little too short for me. Here's what I came up with. After murdering his unfaithful wife and stuffing her dismembered body into a trunk bound for Chicago, Andy finds himself stuck on a train with a police detective who seems to know far more than he's letting on.
That could be the box set.
Yeah, that could work on a box set, right? If you had room for it. Now, mine's a little too long though, and so was the back of the DVD box set. Godden, what'd you come up with?
Mine is short and simple. Mine is 3 birds, 1 stone. That's mine.
Well, before we get into this too far, what are your general thoughts? General thoughts of the episode. Joseph, we'll start with you.
It's one of my favorites from season 5. Basically, it's got a good plot, good twist. characters are good. Pretty good cast. Don't really know what to say anything too specific till we get into the episode, but
Yeah, the characters are great, by the way. There's one in particular, I just think he sells it this whole episode. Every line of dialogue he says is just it's so great.
There's one particular standout character.
Yeah. Godden, general thoughts.
Yeah, this is gonna be a top episode for me. I can't wait what else might come in, try to take the spot, because it's pretty up there, honestly. I can see why this is Joseph's favorite, because it might be one of my favorites for sure for this season. And I can't wait to unpack this, because I do love the main character. He's so fun.
It's so good. It's so good. This is a great episode. I love how this is like a twist on the like the whodunit kind of thing, but who done it. And I actually had to look this up. It's the inversion of a whodunit is called a how catch 'em.
Oh, that's funny.
So it's like if you ever watch Columbo. You ever watch Columbo?
Not entirely.
Columbo was that police detective show back in the, I think, 70s maybe, and the whole premise was in the first opening of the show, you see who kills who. You see exactly who done it. And then the rest of the episode is just trying to find out how Columbo is gonna catch him. I felt that when I was watching this. It felt like a Columbo episode where you're kind of like, okay, when does a detective know? When does he find out what happened? So I like the premise. I like the whole setup. I like the characters. This was a fantastic episode. So let's dive in. It opens up with the Crypt Keeper, for some reason, he's a stand-up comedian here. Again, it makes no sense to the episode. I'm just along for the ride. What's the Crypt Keeper up to this time? So this opening reminds me a lot of a Seinfeld opening. You know how he's always like doing a monologue first before he gets into the episode. So, I heard it as if it was a Seinfeld episode. So I'm thinking, I tell you, ladies and germs, that ghoul fiend of mine makes me so crazy. She told me she thought she'd look good in something long and flowing. So I threw her in the Mississippi. That's my impression of Seinfeld. And how about that Ernest Hemingway always shooting his mouth off? Oh, and then after that joke, nobody laughs. He goes, hello, anybody? I know you're out there, folks. I can hear you bleeding. Is this on? Right, he does the old thing. I know what this crowd wants. A little slay on words. Maybe a couple of nasty fright gags. He says something along the lines of tonight's nasty nugget. It's a little tale about marriage, or if you prefer, about wife and death. I call it 2 for the show. Thoughts on this opening? I guess it's a clever bit that he's doing a bit, but it doesn't really have anything to do with the episode. So I just...
like you said before, it's like trying to always connect the Crypt Keeper segments to the episode isn't always going to work out. You just got to kind of take it for what it is. The only thing I can think is maybe because the title is 2 for the show and he's doing like a stand-up bit.
That's exactly what it is.
2 for the show was more of a singing thing, I thought, than stand-up, but that's the only connection I really made with it. But I like all the Crypt Keeper segments, so it don't really matter what he's getting into.
Godden, what are your thoughts?
It's funny. I like the intro because there's a segment after he says fright gags. The audience member just says, "Get a life." Like he's completely just getting booed down. I love that.
He's got a heckler.
It's kind of subtle in the background. Not everybody might even notice that.
Yeah.
Get a life. That's funny.
Get a life. Because he's dead. It's funny.
It is funny to see the Crypt Keeper struggle like that. Like to actually bomb on stage. That you figure he'd be
so good.
Yeah, it's funny to see his jokes not landing with an audience.
Well, that kind of plays into the outro, but we'll get there when we get there.
Let's go to the opening panel here. We have a woman being strangled by a man behind her, and she's holding a pair of scissors. And there's the trunk that's open. right? So basically, that's the whole episode. It would be nice to have like the detective nearby, I suppose. But yeah, what do you think of the panel, Joseph? We'll start with you.
It's another one of those ones where the artwork doesn't necessarily look like the actors, but I guess it kind of gives you an idea of what the episode's about a little bit. But yeah, it probably would have made more sense if they would have worked in Officer Fine somewhere in there.
Yeah, Godden, what do you think?
Yeah, so I was trying to see if maybe Officer Fine is somewhere in there, but no, it's a very vibrant, use of colors. And this might be the first opening panel where it's literally just the first scene of the episode. Because usually the opening panels are somewhere in the middle or maybe before the twist. So I haven't seen a one. Maybe there was in the beginning, the earlier seasons that they have early panels like this. But yeah, it's nice to see that we're going back to like these scene by scene panels.
Yeah,
but I do kind of miss the previous ones where it was just kind of like an album cover of like everything that's happening in the episode.
Yeah,
so.
It would have been nice to have the scene at the very end when they're opening up the box and looking inside. Like,
oh yeah,
if they could have like
nice.
that scene where they, open up a bloody box with all people like looking in, like, maybe you don't get to see what's inside, but you can see their reaction. That would be that'd be a nice one.
Oh
too.
yeah,
but I might give away the twist. Who knows? Who knows what they're thinking when they're making these?
Well, it's something similar. Maybe they could have had the scene where he's trying to stuff her into the box or something.
Oh yeah,
at the beginning.
All right.
And that at least wouldn't spoil the twist. But
right. Oh, and she's also, look at the necklace. The necklace is on a chain around her neck. And that's not how it was in the show. It was on her finger. It came off in the kerfuffle.
Yes, it did come from the kerfuffle, yeah.
So.
Right.
Huh. Anyway. Well, the opening scene, I do like. It's like a first person perspective from each of their eating dinner. The two main characters, or the husband and wife. So the husband, Andy, is just rambling on about his day at work, talking about, just, I did this and then I did that. And then you won't believe what he said to me. So I says to him, they're just kind of going on and on, just droning on about his work. But in the meantime, from her perspective, she's just basically playing with the food on her plate. She's not hungry at all. She just won't eat. But from his perspective, he's cutting up the steak, he's chowing down, he's stuffing his face with all kinds of food. And I like this scene, especially because of how it kind of plays in later, because he's stuffing his face. He just cannot eat enough, basically, in this scene. But then later on, we'll get to it eventually, but I really like how it's highlighted later on when he's not eating. We'll get to that when we get there, but I really like how they show his wanting to eat with how comfortable he is, right? And trying to manipulate the situation later on. So anyway, I noticed that. So they're going back and forth. Eventually he says, and by the way, we're going to be going to a party later. I want to make sure that you need to do more talking, because last time you didn't do enough talking or whatever. Like, he's basically coaching her on how she needs to act when they're out together. And she, at this point, has had enough. She says, I want out. I want to leave. And he's like, what? What do you mean? And she says, I'm seeing somebody else. I want a divorce, right? She's done. She's had it with this guy. And I like how, from his perspective, he says, you know what kind of a schmuck I'm going to look like if you walk out on me? Like, never mind her and her feelings. Never mind what kind of a situation they're in. Never mind his own feelings. All he cares about is he's going to look like a schmuck if she walks out on him. And I love her response. You already look like a schmuck because you are a schmuck. So he can't have her leaving him. So he grabs her, starts strangling her, and this is where she grabs some scissors and she tries to cut at him. So she makes a little mark on his face and she pushes him away. While she's doing this, her ring falls off of her finger and he stabs her in the stomach, and then that's the opening. What do you guys think? Joseph, we'll start with you.
Yeah, so it's pretty funny too, like, because you could see like how completely bored she is, and he's just rambling on and on and on. And then when she tells him she's going to leave him, he's just so oblivious to it that it doesn't even register with him. He's just so focused on talking about whatever crap's going on with his job, and it actually takes him a second. He's on a delay with the, like, well, wait a minute. And then the whole thing with You already look like a schmuck because you are a schmuck. That's like my favorite line from the whole episode. My girlfriend and I say that all the time, just after watching this one. We both like this episode a lot.
Yeah, I'm glad that you pointed that out. You can see how bored she is just by looking at her hands playing with her food. It's so just she's just like dabbing, like the food, like no food's been eaten. The food, the plate's full. She's just barely touching the tops of the food. Like, God, what do you think of this opening?
I enjoyed it. I did like the whole first person perspective when they're just both eating to show like who's actually enjoying their time and who's not. And I was getting a little annoyed how he was cutting his steak. Like it was so, I don't know. It's like you never cut steak before. So I was happy when we panned over. I was like, Jesus, I did not want to watch that second long. That was tough to watch realistically.
I think he was using a butter knife.
Yeah, like a golden butter knife or something.
He was like going back. He wasn't going forwards and backwards. He's going like side to side. He was like ripping it.
It's something stupid. Yeah. like how a schmuck would eat it, you know? It's definitely showing.
That's how a schmuck eats his steak.
Yeah, no, I enjoy the dialogue between them too, because like she is completely checked out. You know, she wants to just file the divorce, and she even shares confidently that she's having an affair. So she doesn't care about him at all. And you know, I'm surprised she didn't just pack her bags and leave. I'm surprised she like kind of made like a whole entrance about it, because then realistically she would have been fine if this didn't happen. Nothing would have happened to her. She would have been able to walk out, no harm done. But for the plot, she needed to have said something, so he gets more upset and showcases his passion by strangling her. It's like, how's this for passion, huh? How's that? I'm like, damn, this is how she dies for sure, because I feel that passion right now. Like,
who's a schmuck?
That's right.
Who's a schmuck now? But yeah, it was unfortunate to see, but I'm glad she had some fight in her. You know, I hate when, you know, the victim just doesn't have a fight. It's so one-sided, but I'm glad there was something in her to, like, you know, the scissors specifically, but it was unfortunate that it was used against her towards the end, and
yeah,
that's how we lose Emma. But it was a good intro.
She also says, "I want hot sex on a white sand beach. I want passion." She wants all of that stuff.
Oh yeah,
and then she also says, "If anyone wants me, I'll be in Chicago." So she's planning on going to Chicago. So as he stabs her, she screams, and then we cut to the police department, and the phone rings. So an officer picks up and basically takes the call. "Oh, you heard someone scream? Okay, we'll send somebody out." But while he's taking this call, the officer in the background is also on a call, and he's like arguing with somebody, and he's yelling basically at them, saying, "Oh yeah, to hell with me? Oh, to hell with you!" And he slams the phone down. So after the first officer finishes his call, he says, "Hey, can you and your wife argue a little more quietly, please?" And this other officer, this is Officer Fine, by the way, and right away, as soon as we get introduced to Officer Fine, I'm like, this is the guy that she's having an affair with, because why would they get an actor this good looking? I've never seen this actor in anything else. Have you? Have any of you seen this actor before?
He's got a familiar face, but I can't really think of anything specific. Now, the other actors, I recognize David Paymer, who is Andy, and Emma is actually Tracy Lords. I don't know if you guys are familiar with her, but there was the whole scandal about her when she had the fake ID when she was like 15 years old, and she was in like adult films and magazines and stuff. So that was like a whole thing. And then all the stuff that she appeared in, of course, became illegal once they discovered. But that's why if she looks familiar to you, that would explain why that's actually Tracy Lords.
Yeah. So the actor who plays Officer Fine, I don't recognize him, but he's very leading man. He's very suave, good looking guy. So right away, I'm like, yeah, this is our main character.
His name's Vincent Spano.
Okay.
But I can't particularly think of any specific movie or show I've seen him in. So
Officer Fine says, what was that call that you were taking? Did I hear you say the name Conway? And he goes, yeah. He goes, oh, would that be Woodglen, apartment 402? And the officer's like, yeah. And he goes, I'm on it. I want to see what this guy looks like. So right away, I'm like, okay, this is our affair guy, right? So his wife's having an affair with, this is in my brain, by the way. I'm thinking Emma is having an affair with Officer Fine, and Officer Fine wants to finally go see what this guy looks like. And the first officer is like, what's going on with you? You know, your shift ended an hour ago. Aren't you supposed to go on vacation with your wife? And Officer Fine says, I said I was going fishing. I didn't say anything about my wife. So again, this is all leading towards the affair because obviously Officer Fine is having issues with his wife. They're arguing back and forth. He's going on vacation, but he's not going with his wife. And he already knows where the Conways live. And he wants to go see this guy. So they're really setting it up as if this guy is the one having the affair. So much so that I was like, okay, maybe they're not having an affair. Maybe I changed my mind. I'll see where this goes. Anyway, Joseph, we'll start with you. What do you think of this next scene here so far?
Yeah, I think that's where they're trying to lead you to believe that Officer Fine has something to do with Emma there, because how would he know their address and be so interested in going there and find out what happened? So that I think that's kind of like the red herring they're throwing out there to start with.
It was effective because I really felt like I felt smart. I was like, oh, I get it already. I already get it. Godden, what do you think?
I mean, I enjoyed his delivery. I don't want to just double down what you guys mentioned because it is funny that he has an interest in this whole ordeal, but the way he delivered his lines was so fun. I would love more lines from this guy. I want him to like show up in a future Tales from the Crypt with a different character with more lines, honestly, because he's just so enjoyable to like just to listen to. Because I wish there was more with Smith. I wish there was more banter between both of them throughout the episode because there'd been a nice little comedic timing, I think, with two of them. But yeah, it's a nice way to set up. I think he's our main character, realistically, as Officer Fine. So I was actually interesting how pretty much this would unfold at the time. But I was with you guys, like why is he so interested? Like, why does he know the exact unit and the exact apartment number? So it's like interesting. So I was like, okay, we'll see what happens.
We're assuming that you've watched this episode, by the way, if you're listening to this. So hopefully we're not giving too much away. But do you think at this point Officer Fine knows exactly what's going on? Because he says, I want to go see what this guy looks like. Do you think that Officer Fine thinks his wife is cheating on him with Andy? Or do you think he already knows the whole situation?
I never really considered that, but possibly.
I think he knows the whole situation.
Because
like how the ending is.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of setup he did.
I think he figures it out. I think he does think it's Andy, and I think he figures the whole thing out when he finds that ring. I think that's where everything comes full circle for Andy. That's what I think. I mean, for Dr. Fine, for Officer Fine, that's what I think is going on.
So you think because it was a women's ring, that's what set it off to where he figured out what was going on.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where he puts all the pieces together. I think right now he's still trying to put all the pieces together and he's only got like half the picture. So I think in Officer Fine's mind, he wants to go see what this guy looks like. Why is my wife sleeping with this guy who turns out to be Andy? So that's what I think is going on. So he goes to the apartment, Officer Fine. But before he gets there, we see Andy trying to stuff his wife's body in that trunk at the foot of their bed. He hears a knock at the door. And he kind of shuffles around, right? And he shuffles into a bathrobe. He goes and he answers the door. And it's Officer Fine. Basically says, hey, we got some complaints of some screaming. I just want to come check things out. So Andy lets him in and he kind of goes in and he does a little bit of snooping around, but is mostly just asking questions. And he notices that Andy's got a little cut on his cheek. He says, oh yeah, I cut myself shaving. He goes into the room and sees the trunk. He sees some blood on the trunk. And he says, Andy says, oh yeah, like I said, I cut myself shaving. Opens up the trunk, no body inside. It's empty. It's basically full of towels. But he does find he finds the ring. So he picks up the ring and he goes, oh, Marysville High. You go to high school around here? And Andy says, no, we moved here around 5 years ago. So I think that's where he starts to piece everything together because we learn that ring is very important later. It's not just a random ring that Andy's wife was wearing. It means so much more to Officer Fine in particular. Then we get this next scene, which I think it might be one of my favorites in the episode. They go into the bathroom and then we see from the top down, he's got the bubble bath going with his wife dead in the bathtub, and it's just her face is visible. So Andy runs and he kind of positions the bubbles over her face so she can't be seen anymore. And I like how Officer Fine says, a bubble bath? And he goes, yeah, you'd be amazed how relaxing they are, especially after a really hard day. At that, Officer Fine takes his leave, and he basically tells Andy, hey, you know what? Give me a call if you hear from Emma. Oh, and also this is where Andy tells the officer, oh yeah, she's going to be going to Chicago. We had a fight. She's going to Chicago. And Andy said, or Officer Fine says, okay, well, have her, give me a call when you find out that she's there safe and sound. And do me a favor. When the other guys get here, tell them that I was already here. They'll probably want to search around, standard procedure, but just tell them that I was here. And that, I think, puts Andy on the back foot a little bit. Because he's like, wait, other people coming. So I think this is where the mind games start with Officer Fine. This whole episode basically is just Officer Fine playing all kinds of mind games with Andy. And I think this is where it starts. There's nobody else coming to his house. That was the investigation. But he's just trying to put Andy on the back foot like this, trying to make him nervous. Hey, when other people start coming and start snooping around, you just tell them that I was already here. So he's already putting it in his mind like, this isn't over yet. This is going to keep going. So what do you guys think? Well, we'll start with you, Joseph. What do you think of this whole apartment scene?
Okay, so at the beginning of the scene, just a quick little shout out to another channel. There's a guy named Rico. He's got this channel called Horror Head. He does kind of like a watch along and reactions to the episodes. And so I'm watching the one he did on this episode. And so the part when he knocks on the door and he introduces himself, he says, I'm Officer Fine. And then Rico says, yes, you are. I just thought that was pretty funny. So shout out to Rico if he happens to watch this.
You said Horror Head is the name of his channel?
I believe that's the name of it, okay. Horror Head. I'm
going to put that in the description down below for a shout outs to other channels. So Horror Head, we're going to have a little shout out to you on this. Thank you for that. I always appreciate learning about other members of the horror community out there. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah, he did a lot of Tales from the Crypt episodes. That's how I watched some of the episodes he did. And, so yeah, I think Andy's actually doing a pretty good job of improvising on the fly here. Like, he didn't really stumble to say he cut himself shaving. He thought the bubble bath and all that. So he probably thinks he's going to get away with it, but he has no idea that Officer Fine's just a couple of steps ahead of him along the whole way. And that's kind of the cat and mouse game they're playing throughout the episode. And yeah, it's really one of the better parts of the episode is to see how Andy's going to try to deceive Officer Fine, but Officer Fine always just knows what to do to keep Andy on his back foot and nervous all along. I don't know if you already got after Officer Fine leaves, when he goes to start hacking up the body.
Oh, I did leave that part out.
He picks up her head and says, looks like you're going to make that trip to Chicago after all.
Yeah, he cuts her up into pieces in the bathtub there using the electric meat carver.
Yeah.
Starts shoving her in pieces into that trunk. Yeah. Godden, what are your thoughts of this scene here?
I enjoyed Officer Fine's introduction to our actual main character because like what Joseph said, he puts a lot of doubt, and second guessing in Andy's head because when Andy's trying to explain, we were just having an argument and she left, so nothing crazy, you know how wives are, it's that simple. And he's like, oh, but which of the neighbors was it? He's like, I didn't say which. Like he just walks away. Like I don't know. Like, the way he sets up the dog is so funny because he just wants him to slip up and he doesn't do much effort. His presence alone just makes him nervous,
Mm-hmm.
And the way he's like snooping around is so it's so like intense. This just feels like a thriller. This whole episode just between these two characters because a part of you kind of wants like Andy to like kind of get away with it because he's like, oh, can he outsmart the cop who's clearly like a pretty sharp detective, and you get like we mentioned before, like a cat and mouse situation. So it's fun to see how he reacts and how he adapts to these situations. But I give him props for the that bathtub scene, because when it wasn't in the trunk, I was like, where did he put it? And then we panned to the bathroom. I was like, oh, that is sneaky. Like, I would not have thought. I'm just running a bath, officer. Like, just gotta take a nightly shower. Nothing big. But oh my god, just hiding the face in the bubbles is just. It's like it's right there. It's right there. Anything could happen. It could be caught right in that very second. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. So I was actually excited how they're gonna keep on this cat and mouse game, because I figured this is pretty much it. This is how the game's gonna be set up, is these two characters specifically. So
yeah, that was a great scene when we go into in the bathroom and we see her in the bathtub.
Andy actually he's doing a pretty good job of thinking on his toes and being quick with what to do. But Officer Fine is even better at noticing stuff's not going on right, but he also is really good at tricking Andy into playing dumb and thinking that he has no idea. He's totally given this impression that he's completely oblivious, but at the same time knowing exactly what to say to get Andy to try to slip up.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me a little bit of American Psycho, Willem Dafoe's character when he plays a detective, and they had him shoot every scene 3 different ways. One where he thinks that Bateman's guilty, one where he doesn't, and one where he just has no idea. And they just kind of splice them together. So it's kind of a similar kind of cat and mouse thing going on in that movie as well.
Yeah, I'm glad that you brought that up. That is, yeah, I wonder if because you could read it in a variety of different ways. Like, this guy is just a friendly officer, just trying to just do his due diligence. But then you can also read it as, oh, he's on to him. And it's fun. It makes rewatches a lot of fun because you could watch it through each lens. So next up, we go to the train station. Andy is dragging that trunk to the baggage clerk there, and he gives it to the baggage attendant guy, and he says, go ahead and fill this out. He leaves it blank and gives it back, and then on his way out is when he gets confronted by Officer Fine, and he says, oh, hey, I'm just doing a little plain clothes work. You going somewhere? Right, just trying to be super friendly, and Andy's like, yeah, and that's when the baggage carrier comes and says, hey, mister, you forgot to fill out your name and address. I love this part too. This is one of the best lines. He goes, and I gotta tell you, if these get lost, they're lost for good. There's no way this can get traced back to you. So it's like, that was his out. If he had just walked out, that he would have lost the luggage. It never would have got traced back to him, and it would have just been a body in a luggage case, right? Like, it would have never gotten back to him. So he fills out the thing to Chicago, gives it back to the guy, and Andy says to Officer Fine, yeah, just after you left, by the way, my wife and I made up. So now I'm on my way to Chicago to see her. So Officer Fine offers to walk Andy to the train. He walks him to the train. Andy gets in, takes a seat, and just as soon as he looks at a map in front of him, he looks over, and there's Officer Fine sitting right next to him. So this Officer Fine guy just won't let him go. So Fine sits there and says, I'm on a very special case, although I can't really talk about it. But while he's there, he just starts like hamming it up and just starts talking to him. He says, what did you say your fight was about anyway, you and your wife? And, he kind of flusters Andy a bit. And he goes, maybe marriage is the problem. When people are together too long, they get at each other's nerves. And he goes, let me ask you a personal question. If you don't want to answer, it's okay. He says, if you were to kill your wife, how would you do it? And of course, Andy doesn't want to respond, right? He's super guilty. We even get flashbacks of him killing his wife. He goes, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you how you'd kill your wife. And then he gets up and he moves even closer to Andy, sits right beside him. He says, I think you'd strangle her with your bare hands. And Andy at this point had enough. And he goes, I haven't had anything to eat today. If you'll excuse me, he gets up and he walks out. So what do you think about this so far? Joseph, we'll start with you.
Okay, so when they're at the train station, and he tries to get away with not putting his name on the tag, that really wouldn't have worked if he'd have just walked out because, Officer Fine was already kind of on to him at that point. So I think he just kind of panicked, and he knew that even if he did just walk away, he probably would have searched the luggage anyway. And then, things start to ramp up with the tension once they're actually on the train. And it's like, Andy just can't seem to get rid of this guy. He just keeps popping up everywhere. But you can see he's starting to get a little bit more flustered each time. He's still coming up with excuses and things, but it's taking him a little bit longer. He's not as quick on his toes as he was the first meeting.
Yeah, being caught like not ready for it. Right, he was ready to just be done with it. And to be honest with you, I don't know if just sending that trunk off would have worked in the 1980s or the 1990s. They have fingerprints. Right. I don't think DNA testing was a thing that early. It might have been, but fingerprints definitely. They would have been able to trace it back to him. But maybe in the 50s, when the comic was originally written, maybe you could get away with something like that. But
I'm not sure if the story is the same in the comic for this one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember offhand if I knew the story of the comic. I might have heard it before. The other thing that I kind of thought of when Officer Fine asked him if he was going to kill his wife, how would he do it? It reminded me of they had O.J. Simpson wrote that book. If I killed my wife, this is how I would have done it.
Yeah.
It was if I did it. It was if I did it, and the if was like super super tiny, and it just basically the title said I did it.
That's what it made me think of when he asked him that.
Yeah. Godden, what'd you think of all this setup?
In the beginning when we get to the train station, he's lugging his trunk. I was like, yeah, I guess Officer Fine's here too. I guess like just happenstance off his shift, because I'm like, oh, he has a vacation, so that makes sense. He probably takes the train, so I'm like, yeah, this makes sense. He has to be here. And I'm like, okay, I can't wait to see how Andy handles this, because they have to meet up, because there's no way Officer Fine doesn't just like strike a conversation after he just spoke with him earlier. But yeah, I think there was a moment of relief when Andy thought he got away with it before Officer Fine kind of flagged him down and said, "Hey, remember me? I was at your apartment like a couple hours ago evening." So yeah, it's funny to see like he's kind of like out of tricks, I guess. Like there's not really much else for him to say after he mentions like, "Yeah, me and my wife made up, so I guess I'm heading to Chicago too. I'm going to visit her." It's just interesting to see from that perspective. I guess like if you're trying to be like cop mode alongside Officer Fine, it's like it's too coincidental, It's like and you kind of want to see what Officer Fine would have to say, but I actually didn't think for him to become like buddies with him. Like that's kind of his route, just to like be his friend for this whole entire time. But while he's there, he keeps adding the pressure. Like, oh, okay, go to your trip, but let me walk you to your cab. Let me just make sure you get there safely. And it's like, all right, I guess he's here. And the minute Andy's like, all right, I'm gonna head to Chicago, it's like, it's okay, we can go inside. I'm actually heading there too. It's like, yeah, okay, this guy's just playing games, man. Like he's just taunting him every step of the way. So it's great so far. I'm enjoying it. So yeah,
it's really good.
It's been fun. Yeah,
it's like it makes the rewatch so much fun, because the first time through you're like, well, maybe he's also going, because remember, it's being set up as if Officer Fine's having the affair. So if Andy's wife is going to Chicago, it would make sense that she was going to Chicago to meet Officer Fine. Yeah. So it would make sense that Officer Fine would be on the train going to Chicago also. So if you watch it with that lens, it makes sense that he would be going there anyway. And maybe he's just trying to be nice and guiding Andy to the train. But again, on rewatch, you realize, oh, he's funneling him there. Like he's trying to get him there. So it's a good episode. It's well written, and I love all the delivery from Officer Fine. It's so good. So in the dining car, he's eating, I think, like meatloaf or something like that.
Yeah. And
Officer Fine shows up and he goes, I don't usually eat when I'm traveling, because I just get sick and everything comes back up. But that smells really good. Do you mind if I try something? He just reaches over and helps himself to some of his food. And he goes, oh, that is so good. I think I might order the same thing. unless you're not going to finish yours. And he just kind of pushes a plate over. He just starts eating his food. But I like this. I like this mind game he plays here. So, and again, if you're watching it the first time, is it a mind game or is it what's going on? So at this point, I was just along for the ride. I was just enjoying how it was unfolding in front of me. He goes, "You see that guy back there?" And he looks back and it's just some dude in a suit. And he goes, "That man back there, he's got $5 million worth of drugs and he's smuggling on the train here. That's my case. That's what I'm working on." So once that spotlight starts to be taken off of Andy a little bit, he starts to loosen up, and he's like, "Really? That's why you're here? That's what you're doing?" Once he gets more comfortable, he starts eating also, just like he was in the beginning of the episode. So I like that. I like that character quirk in him. When he's comfortable and when he feels like he has some control, he's going to be stuffing his face. But when he's uncomfortable and he's stressed, he's not hungry anymore. I like that continuity in there, and I like how that's how they started up, and then the big revelation happens here in the dining room. I like that it's really surrounding food like that. This should have been called Food for Thought. Anyway.
Oh yeah, actually.
So, but again, Officer Fine is constantly pulling the rug out from under him. He says, "Yeah, at the next stop, I'm going to have all these FBI agents coming on board. They're going to search every nook and cranny, every square inch. They're going to look through every bag." And then he swallows hard and he goes, "Every bag? That's right. I'm going to have them look through every bag." So now he's nervous again. He doesn't want to eat. Now he feels sick. He gets up and he has to excuse himself to go. And he rushes to the baggage car. And this is where he swaps the tags. So he takes his tag from his bag and he swaps it with another bag. And then he takes his original bag, throws it off the train, and rips up the tag that he switched out with and threw everything out. So he basically switched all the evidence. I'm going to pause here. I think this is a good, because the next spot is where we have a pretty big twist. So, Joseph, what do you think so far?
The first thing I was thinking after, because I just rewatched it again to freshen up on it, and when he ordered the meatloaf, all I could think of was all the meatloaf puns that Iron Sabbath was making on what's cooking.
That's funny.
So,
Shout out to Iron Sabbath.
If he got that from Fred Nurma's.
Oh.
He's doing a great job of just playing with Andy the whole time. Like he gets him to calm down, then he gets him nervous again, then he gets him to calm down again. At that point, he already knows Andy's guilty, so he knew exactly what to say. Tell him the bogus story about the whole drug bust and all that stuff. When he goes back to switch the tags, there was one little thing that just didn't make sense about that to me, and I'll talk about it more when we get to the twist at the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that tag switching seemed really random at the time, but it becomes crucial for the twist. Yeah, so I'm curious to talk about that too. Godden, what do you think about this scene so far?
I thought it was funny. Like right after he got away from Officer Fine just to get food, of course, Officer Fine finds him again, chatting it up, never leaving him alone, just bugging him. And he even mentions it's like, "I don't know, I'm so chatty with you."
Oh, that's right.
He's like just rubbing in his face, like he's just talking to him. But yeah, I think it was so funny because the scenes earlier where he's just eating, he's so chatty, he's eating his steak that his wife made, and now he can't eat his meatloaf without being bothered. I think it was so funny that he would kind of like bait him and just kind of cool him down before revealing that there's gonna be FBI agents all over these carts and they're gonna go through every single bag. It's like that guy would almost choked on his food realistically because his blood just left him the moment he realized the truth. So it's just I was expecting that at the time when I first watched it, because that's such a funny way to rile someone up after calming them down. It does seem like he knows he's guilty, so it's kind of funny that he's just kind of playing with him at this point, like just playing with his food. So yeah, I'm interested to see how it kind of ended, because I think at this point of the scene, I don't know how much left of the story there was to be told. So I was kind of just in the moment, because I was actually surprised he was able to even get access to the luggages, because I feel like that would be more closed off because you don't want people rummaging through other people's luggages. Like it's a lot of theft, that could be done there. So,
Right.
but I'm surprised he was able to just get through that, swap all the tags, and throw his old one out. So, it looked like he got away with it again.
Security there seems a little loosey goosey, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I think there was something that I wanted to throw out there about this too. Oh, I've been talking about the acting of the Officer Fine character, but honestly, Andy's acting is really good too, because the way he turns on his guilt versus his relief and just going back and forth, like he's essentially telling on himself. Whenever Officer Fine eases off the gas on getting get the spotlight off of him, you can see him kind of relax, and then he cranks it back up and you see him get nervous again. So he is just doing everything that Officer Fine expects him to be doing for a guilty person. So yeah, he's basically telling on himself. I love that about this too. Okay, so when he gets back to the dining car after he switches everything out and throws the body overboard, this is where we get the final, like, I know it's you kind of a situation here. Andy returns and Officer Fine tells him, can I tell you something? You made a real big mistake with that ring. He says, out here, a high school ring means something. And that's where he flips it over on his own finger, and you see that he also has the same class ring. He says, Marysville High, class of 77. I still wear it with pride. You see, I think someone gave that ring to your wife, and I don't buy for a second that she just left it behind. And that's where basically he calls him out, says, I know what you did. So Andy offers, search my trunk. There's nothing in there. You'll see it. There's nothing in my trunk. I'm innocent. They go back to the baggage car. Oh, by the way, what did you think of this reveal? Joseph, any thoughts about this particular reveal?
Well, once Andy switches the tags, you can see his confidence level just goes through the roof. Now he's at the point where he's taunting Officer Fine because he thinks he already got away with it. And I mean, Godden made a good point. I never even thought, like, why would Andy have such easy access to get to the luggage? The only thing I could think is maybe Officer Fine knew he was going to do that and found a way to leave it unlocked for him. But even Officer Fine, you wouldn't think would just randomly have access to it unless, I don't know, since he's setting up this sting operation, maybe he worked it out with the people in the train since he's a cop. But yeah, I never considered that until God mentioned it. Why is it so easy for Andy to go back there and switch the tags?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I don't know. I that's one of those things where I didn't really mind when I was watching it. I never really thought twice about it. I think when you're on the ride of just enjoying the episode so much, like those little things just kind of get lost on you. I think back to, remember the conjoined twins, My Brother's Keeper. There was all kinds of loopholes in that one that I didn't even realize until after the episode, until I started getting comments. Remember, how would one brother set up anything without the other brother knowing? He's always there, and of course that doesn't make any sense. But when I was watching that episode, I never even considered that. I was just enjoying the ride. I think that's what's going on here. I'm just enjoying what's going on. I'm not really questioning. That type of stuff. But
I think I was actually the one that pointed that out about My Brother's Keeper.
Yeah.
And a lot of these episodes do have these little plot holes in them, but it makes you think, well, this doesn't make any sense, but it doesn't really hurt your enjoyment of the episode. If you like the episode, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to make sense. You can pick apart just about any movie or television show if you really analyze it, like, okay, this doesn't make sense, that doesn't make sense, this doesn't fit the continuity. But yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So this is where we get our finale. We go back to the baggage car, and Andy is being escorted basically by Officer Fine and another officer there. And Andy says, "Where's all your FBI guys?" He goes, "I lied. You are the case, asshole." So Andy opens up his trunk. Oh, he doesn't. He says, "Oh, I forgot the combination, right? Because it's a combo lock. Yeah, I forgot the combination." So they open it up for him, and there's inside the trunk a chopped up body of a woman. Wouldn't you know it? So this is where Officer Fine basically puts all his cards out on the table. He goes, that ring your wife had was a woman's ring. It was my wife's. My wife gave it to your wife when they started seeing each other. That's my wife in that trunk. Admit it. You found out about the affair and went berserk. That's why you murdered my wife. So a lot of stuff just happened here. First of all, we finally get our homosexual affair, which I've been asking for quite some time now. So we finally got it.
Yeah, we got it.
Oh, that spices things up so gloriously when we have something like this. And also, we're supposed to assume, I think, what's going on here is Officer Fine chopped up his wife for having the affair, stuffed her into a box, and then created this whole ploy to try to get Andy to switch the trunks, which was kind of a half-assed plan, but it worked out gloriously. So that was a big twist. Joseph, what do you think?
So I'm not really sure. Did Officer Fine already murder his wife before this all happened with Andy? Or did he get the idea after discovering that Andy murdered his wife? That part, it's not real clear. But this is one of those plot holes. It doesn't really hurt the episode, but it doesn't make any sense, because how could Officer Fine have possibly known if Andy goes back to switch the tags to a random chest, and he just happened to put it on the one that had the other dead body on it, and how would Officer Fine know that he not only switched the tags, but just happened to put it on that exact chest? So somewhere along the line, he had to have set him up. Maybe he went back and switched the tags himself, or because that's the part that didn't really make sense to me. That was the plot hole.
Yeah, that was definitely a hole that I felt when I watched this too. It felt just too on the nose for that seemingly random switch. I think if they had put more emphasis on the fact that both of the bags or both of the trunks looked exactly the same, that might have made it more clear as to what was going on, because Officer Fine did know what trunk he was using, because he was there at the house and he saw the trunk with the blood on it. So if they made some sort of effort to show like, oh, it's the same trunk that he brought, or maybe if they were both carrying their luggage at the same time and Officer Fine said, hey, look, we got the same trunk, buddy, or something, like if they had made an effort, it would have made it more clear. Because I did have to kind of use my own head canon to kind of make things kind of match. Godden, what do you think?
The first time I saw this, I was blown away from this twist, and the second time I was still blown away because I forgot about it. Well, I guess my biggest issue is, like, when did he have time to kill his wife if he was on shift the whole time? And Officer Smith said, hey, you were supposed to be off the clock an hour ago. Then I started thinking, did he kill his wife after he investigated Andy's place?
Yeah, he must have.
And then there's like a whole time skip, and then they end up in the Chicago train. And then I guess my biggest issue is, like, yeah, how would he have known that he would have put the tags on that specific, suitcase? Like, there were two different suitcases, and there was a bunch of other luggages there. Andy could have chose any other one, unless that's the only other big trunk. Then I could give it that kind of validity, but I didn't search it thoroughly, so maybe I'll line up with that. Maybe it was the only other trunk there apart from his. And then he knows that he had a trunk anyway, so might as well just double down that, hey, look, there's another trunk. Yeah. So might be more in line.
They certainly didn't make an effort to show you that the trunks were the same. They made an effort to make it seem as if he was just doing two random trunks. So, I wish they would have cleaned that up a bit. Or what if that lie that he had made up about the other guy smuggling $5 million worth of drugs, what if that was true? What if he switched it and they opened it up and it was a bunch of drugs and he went to prison for embezzling?
That would have been a good twist.
Yeah, that would have.
Yeah, that's what
I think that would have closed things up a little more nicely.
Yeah. I thought that's what was gonna happen to him. I thought he was gonna get the drug money issue, and then he was gonna put away. Yeah. But I like this one way more. Like it's actually so
guess
funny.
Getting busted for having some drugs isn't as bad as getting busted for chopping off your wife and throwing her off of a train.
Right. And we wouldn't have gotten that homosexual affair, which I thought was just great.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the final scene, we close out with Officer Fine back at home. He went and got the trunk and he starts shoving Emma down the garbage disposal. And I love when he puts that very last arm down the garbage disposal. It's actually giving him the finger as it's going down the drain.
Yeah.
So that was great. That was a great ending.
That's another thing. Like, how did he know exactly where the trunk landed when he threw it off the train?
Well, he knew it must have been between two stops, I suppose, right?
Yeah. Did he have to search around that whole area until he found the trunk?
He must have, yeah. He must have just went out and searched around for it.
But I mean, I guess with these episodes being like 20 to 30 minutes long, you don't have time to flesh out every little detail. They couldn't have spent 15 minutes of Officer Fine searching around.
Yeah.
Trying to find the trunk.
And that's what would happen. I that's what I feared. If they rebooted Tales from the Crypt today, I fear it would become an hour-long show, and then they would be forced to fill in that hour. Some episodes might need it. Some episodes maybe need some more breathing room, but the vast majority of them are only made better because they're so quick. They're so fast-paced. So it's like you gotta take some and lose some, right? Do you sacrifice the great pacing in these episodes for more clarity, or like what's more important to you? For me, the pacing is nice, so I don't mind filling in the blanks a little bit as I go, for the sake of pacing, right?
And people's attention spans are so short now; they would make everything right on the nose.
Yeah, right, and then it would spell everything out for you. Godden, what do you think?
Yeah, I like the way this episode pretty much ended. I like the way how everything has its own actual piece and everything played its part, because it's a fun rewatch. Yeah, but about the, like, if they do a modern revision of Tales from the Crypt, I think you guys are right. I think they might be more, there'll be more hand holding. Unfortunately, there'll be less show no tells. Unfortunately, and I think that just would kind of suck. I mean, I just don't have hope, realistically, with how a lot of the shows are coming nowadays, and especially like a big name like Netflix or, I don't know, Amazon will take over. They might do that more likely. So I hope that doesn't. I mean, if it does come back, I hope, they give it the same passion that they did in the 90s. So that's my hope, at least, if it does make a comeback. But I also watched the 90s one. It's fine.
If I were to reboot the show, my idea would be to do it a little bit different, because they've already used almost all the good stories from the original comic books. I mean, they could maybe make a rebooted version of the couple of those episodes, maybe one or two a season. But the way I would do it would be make all new original stories, and then make a comic book to complement each episode as it comes out.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the season, you could have like the Blu-ray release and release like a trade paperback that has all the episodes in it for the paper, the comic books. That's the way I would do it personally, because then you would get people that would want to have the comic book and the episode together.
If they would like just do let's say they did season 8, and then they did like a compendium of all of the Tales from the Crypt episodes as a comic from season 8 and just release that side by side, that'd be pretty cool. So you would just get the comics from that season. That'd be pretty neat.
I would kind of do it in reverse. Instead of basing the show on the comics, I would base the comics on the show. So you'd make an original episode, and then when that episode premieres, you release the comic book that week that has the same story in it, based on the show.
That's such a good idea.
It would just be an idea for something different.
That's such a cool idea. Yeah, just make your own.
Because there's only so
shows.
many more DC comics that they haven't already made an episode for.
Yeah, there are still more comics though that they haven't made episodes for, so they could still go that route.
Yeah,
but yeah, your idea is definitely very.
They probably used up most of the better stories. There's probably still some good ones out there, and if you get the right people to adapt it, they can make any of the stories good. If you get the right writers, directors, actors, whatever, they can make it good, or they can make it suck.
Yeah. Well, all right. That brings us back to the Crypt Keeper for his outro. He's still on stage, by the way. He says, that Barney's my kind of guy. He comes up with a plan, but it's Andy who has to hatch it. I guess it's true what they say. Better dead than wed. Time for my finish. This is where he takes a grenade and throws it into the crowd. They all blow up. He goes, now that's what I call bombing. Take my life. Please. I just get Seinfeld vibes when he's up in front of that brick wall like that. Any thoughts on the Crypt Keeper outro before we move on, Joseph?
I mean, it's basically just like a companion to go along with the intro.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically the same thing. He's still doing his stand-up routine, but like I said, I always enjoy the Crypt Keeper segments, whether they make sense or they don't. I always enjoy the stupid puns and all that stuff, so I liked it.
Yeah. Godden?
I enjoyed the cheesy bombing line, and because a grenade. I know I'm a little biased when it comes to like weapons of war. So yeah, I thought it was really cute when he did that. It's like, that's why I call it bombing. He's like, well, he killed his crowd because his crowd didn't like him, so I can't fault him for that. That's something I would do too if I was a stand-up comedian.
I guess that's a play on words too, because they say when you actually win the crowd over, you killed it, then you killed them, or you slayed them. So I guess he slayed them literally instead of with
he
laughter.
killed them and he bombed.
Yep.
So I like this episode a lot. I thought it was a lot of good back and forth between the cop and the murderer. It was really nice to see Officer Fine, like you said, Godden, playing with his food, kind of turning up the heat and then turning it back off, and then dialing up the heat and then bringing it back, just to watch him squirm, and then you go back and forth with what was going on. So that was so good. It was very sadistic of him to be doing it to that extent. When it comes to other movies or shows that take place on a train like this, it makes me think of like Train to Busan or Bullet Train. Have you guys seen those ones?
Mm-hmm. Those are fun movies.
I've heard of them, but I haven't seen them.
Oh, Train to Busan if you're a horror fan, it's really, really good. I like it a lot. Is that
the zombie one?
Yeah.
It's like Japanese, I think.
Yeah. It's Korean, I think.
Oh, Korean. Okay.
Yeah, it's
I
really
knew it
good,
was a zombie movie though. The only one I could think of, and it's not really anything to do with like this or anything, but the Throw Mama from the Train.
Yes.
It's a train, and there's like a murder plot going on, even though they don't actually.
I'm so glad you brought that up. I forgot about that. I love that movie. Throw Mama from a Train. Owen, that old lady.
She's the same one from the Goonies.
Yes, she is. And
that's fun.
Yeah, it's got Danny DeVito in it as well. And I think was it
Billy Crystal?
Billy Crystal, yeah. Oh, that's a good. Have you seen that one, Godden?
Just clips online. I see some random clips. I'm like, oh yeah, that's like a movie I should watch in there. But I have such a big list. I can't get through all of them quite yet.
What about? Have you seen Train to Busan, Godden?
Yes, I've seen Train to Busan and Bullet Train.
Those are both. Have you seen Bullet Train, Joseph?
No, I haven't.
There's a couple. That one's more action though. It's kind of like an action comedy, but it's also pretty fun.
Movie that came to mind when you were talking about bullet trains was the Wolverine, when they have the scene on the top when they're fighting on top of the bullet train.
Yeah,
the one where Hugh Jackman got like totally shredded for that one.
The first Mission Impossible, also the finale takes place on that train.
Wait, what happens in the finale? I should forget the first Mission Impossible.
Oh, he climbs up on top of the train, and then he jumps onto the helicopter, puts the gum on the helicopter, it blows up, he flies back onto the train. Oh. Typical over-the-top stunts,
Yeah. Okay, that does make sense. Yep.
Now, the idea of knowing who the killer is up front and then seeing how the detective gets the killer, we already saw it, like with Columbo, I already mentioned, right? Columbo's famous for that. That's kind of the whole shtick of that. But it also makes me kind of think of Death Note. The whole time we know who the killer is. We know the person putting the name on in the book, and it's all about the detective trying to figure out, how is he going to get there? So, can you guys think of anything else where it's more like, how is the detective going to catch the killer? But we know who the killer is. Like maybe Silence of the Lambs. Maybe.
I was gonna say Catch Me If You Can.
Oh,
it's not really a killer, but
right. Catch Me If You Can. The whole time we know it's DiCaprio, don't we?
I think the only other one I could think of was I already mentioned American Psycho, but even then it's kind of ambiguous. You don't really know if the cop knows that he's guilty or not.
Yeah.
But I know there's a ton of them out there, but I'm drawing a blank trying to think of one.
Yeah, surprise though with American Psycho is like he doesn't even know who the killer. Like the killer doesn't even know. Right?
Yeah,
It's like
they leave it completely ambiguous.
Right, it's a crazy
and then
twist.
they ruin it in the second one.
Oh, I never watched the second one.
Yeah, I didn't know there was a second one.
The second one has like almost nothing to do with the first one. There's like one scene at the beginning where they kind of mention Patrick Bateman, and the new protagonist of the second movie supposedly killed Patrick Bateman, and then after that you don't really. It has like nothing to do with him after that. I don't think it's related in any way to the books or anything. I think it was originally written to be like a completely different movie, and then they just threw the Patrick Bateman stuff at the beginning to make it an American Psycho sequel.
I hate when they do that.
But it has Mila Kunis is the main character in there, and I think William Shatner's in it.
One of my favorite scenes in American Psycho is where they're comparing business cards. I love that scene. I absolutely love that scene. All right. Well, let's move on to ratings, shall we? You guys, let's start with. I'll start. I don't care. I'll start this time. I never have a rhyme or reason who starts with what. It's just I just feel it differently every time. I know the ending has its plot holes. I know that it's a little bit ambiguous as to what the original plan was to begin with, and it's kind of over the top, the fact that this plan worked. I don't care. I love this episode. I love Officer Fine. I love their dynamic. I love the cat and mouse. I really like this episode, and I like every single scene and how it leads from one to the next. I'm going to go with a 5. I give this 5 schmucks. All right, who wants to go next?
So yeah, I pretty much agreed with everything you said. Maybe the ending doesn't make 100% sense if you think about it, but I still enjoy this episode every single time I watch it. I still laugh at certain parts, and I'm also going to give it a 5. I was going to say schmucks, but I guess I'll go with we'll do class rings. 5 class rings.
All right, 5 class rings, 5 schmucks. Godden.
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, that this is a pretty strong episode, honestly. I'm not sure what else season 5 has in store for me, but this is definitely up there. Yeah, I mean, coincidentally, I also give it a 5. I mean, the plot hole of like, oh, it could have been a different luggage. It's you can fix that. It's so easy to fix. You can just retcon like, oh, there's only 2 luggages there. Okay, now it works out. It keeps me happy. It's whatever. But for the item for 5, that's a tough one for me because. I mean, it'd be fun if we all did schmucks because we can just be schmucks together.
we could.
No, but
we already look like schmucks because we are schmucks.
We are schmucks. What would be a good one? Oh, you know what? I got it. $5 million in drugs.
Oh,
that's what it is.
There you go. 5 million. I love it. That was great. Nice. That was a clutch pull right there, Godden.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on to Horrorspondence. Oh, Joseph Hill comments. Joseph Hill comments on the most recent episode to air was Food for Thought. I'm going to read your comment to you. Another sideshow circus themed episode, not on par with Dig That Cat, but I do prefer Food for Thought over Lower Berth. Yeah, me too, Joseph. I guess I'm just not a fan of that being a Crypt Keeper origin story. Yeah, that was exactly what I didn't like about it too. Food for Thought is not that bad. I know it's not the most popular episode, but it's decent. You go on to give Food for Thought a 3 out of 5. 3 mini Chuck Norrises out of 5.
That's so funny.
Oh my gosh, that's right. You said he looked like Chuck Norris. Any other thoughts about Food for Thought that you want to share?
I put in there also because when Godden said he looked like Chuck Norris, they should have made. They had the Twins movie with Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger. They should have made a Twins movie with him and Chuck Norris. That would have been hilarious.
That would have been freaking awesome. I wish other big action stars like that had as much of a sense of humor as Schwarzenegger. Because Schwarzenegger wasn't only in those crazy over-the-top action movies. He was also in a lot of great comedies. Kindergarten Cop.
I love that one.
Twins.
Jingle All the Way.
Jingle All the Way. Junior. So he definitely pokes fun at himself a lot more than other.
I think Last Action Hero is really underrated too.
Last Action
he really
Hero is
pokes
great.
fun of himself in that one.
I love how he can never get his name right. But it's me, Arnold Braunschweigen. Schwarzenegger. That's what I said. Braunschweiger. Yeah, he can never get his name right.
The famous comedian Ronald Braunschweiger.
Good.
Oh my gosh, I love me a good Schwarzenegger flick. I love me a bad Schwarzenegger flick. Who am I? Okay, so now that we're on Horrespondence, I just want to put out there, we still have our SpeakPipe app, a link down below. So if you want to leave us a voice message, click on the SpeakPipe link, and you don't need an email. I disabled needing an email. All you need to do is just put in some sort of a name. So you could use your real name, you could use your YouTube name or an alias if you want. Leave us a voicemail and we'll play it right here on the podcast. I'm looking forward to getting some of those. If you anticipate an episode coming up that you want to comment on, you can comment that way as well, and we'll actually save it for when we do that episode. Okay, let's move on to shout-outs. We want to shine the light back out onto the horror community. It's getting pretty big at this point. We have a lot of shout-outs. So there's a lot of other podcasts and other YouTube channels that are kind of horror themed that we think you might enjoy. And rather than go through them all, it would take a long time. So just go check out the links in the description down below to other podcasts and shows. TheJimiRyan has his own podcast or has his own YouTube channel. So does Iron Sabbath. There's also Confused Breakfast Podcast, the Kill Streak Podcast, Creeps of the Crypt, Haddonfield Radio, Return, Revenge, Resurrection, Midnight Rental. There's plenty of others out there. And don't forget, there's us. We here at the Cryptique Podcast. My name is Kenny, and I can be found at 2 Bad About Kenny. That's TOO Bad About Kenny, as well as the number 2 Bad About Kenny. I can be found on YouTube reviewing movies and books and doing another podcast on that channel as well. As of right now, I'm going through all of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. We just released our podcast for the 3rd Nightmare on Elm Street. So if you're a fan of that franchise, go check that out as well. I can also be found on Twitch playing video games. Godden, how about you?
Well, they can find me on Twitch playing video games if I make the time, since I'm a little busy right now, under UAPP06. I play a variety of games when you do catch me, but I'm trying to do more horror games because I have a lot that I have not been able to touch in a while. And you can also reach us out on our Twitter at Creepteakers if you want any further engagement.
All right. Well, hey, thank you, Joseph, for joining us. It's been great having you on. I am happy that you are out there watching our videos and commenting down below. We definitely appreciate your comments. So very much appreciate it. I'm really glad to have you on.
Yeah, it was a long time coming, but finally here. I was glad to be here. Appreciate you guys having me on. Hopefully I lived up to the high bar set by the other guest hosts like Iron Sabbath and TheJimiRyan. This was a good episode to be on. This is if it's not my favorite, it's my second favorite. It would be between this and People Live in Brass Hearses, which is the previous episode you guys just recorded.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be looking forward to watching that. Those are probably my 2 favorites from this season. Also, if you want, I can send you the video from when I met John Kassir a few years ago, if you want to add that in here as well.
Yes, because you met John Kassir and got a few things signed. So yeah, send me the video and I'll put it in right now.
Dun, 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 dun. Hello, boils and ghouls. It's your old pal, John Kassir, the voice of the Crypt Keeper. And I'm here in Baltimore at Monster Mania 2023 with my good fiends, the VJJs. That's right, Jack and Joe. You know, there are a couple of creeps that have come all this way just to hang with yours, Ghoulie, from Essex, of all places. That's right, Horn. Anyway, I hope you guys have one hell of a good time. and may all your screams come true.
Great video. Thanks for sharing that with us. Okay, well, we hope you had a great time, kiddies. And remember, wherever you may go, whatever you may seek, we'll all get together same time next week to watch season 5, episode 7, House of Horror. Ooh, that sounds creepy, doesn't it? House of
Yeah,
Horror.
I remember that one. It's it's the one with the frat guys in it. I won't
Okay.
say anything else.
I don't remember it. So yeah, we don't know what we're getting ourselves into next week. So yeah. Hey, until then, we here at the Cryptique Podcast wish you all sweet nightmares.
Well, how was that for a scream, boys and ghouls?